when I see this picture, they were together, they seemed like they have walked a journey together. This quote comes to mind: an organized minority is a political majority. So every time we talk about young people being 75 or 60% or 80, it's one thing to be many, but it's another to be organized. And that's why you saw even after the Gen Z, without naming individuals, there were those who are co-opted in these traditional political parties, and you know them as well. So I think the big test, even when you talk about our numbers, and that is the same case even for women leadership, where women say we are half the population of Kenya, and it's not reflected in the numbers of the parliaments. So the question then is not necessarily numbers, but the organization of those numbers. I still maintain that if you are too many, you should infiltrate all the places. Should you want to form your own party, as he has said, fair enough. Should you want to coalesce around these things? And you know, Fred, one of the things I've known from my little experience in politics is also a level of pragmatism. I can tell you for sure that if you go to Kisumu County Assembly now and you throw a stone, the chances of you hitting an ODM or MCA are very high, because almost everybody there is an ODM MCA. So for a young person in Kisumu right now, okay, 2022, the pragmatism aspect of the politics is to vie with the most popular party in the region. Is that necessarily the right thing? Well, that's debatable. But we have seen that that's how it happens. That's why if you go to somewhere like Murang'a, other than I think 4 MCAs, all others are UDA MCAs. So I think even as young people, even as we are, you know, I have that fire, there's a room for political pragmatism, because you also learn from the history of your country. And there were 2 things that came to mind yesterday. You know, I don't know why people see this unity of our leaders as a finality per se. You know, we were told elections are not an event, they are a process. It is not surprising that they can even, one of them can fall along the way. It happens. The other one they can even disagree. Who knows? Even the other ones can shift sides. But I think there are 2 things that stood out yesterday. The issue of IEBC was discussed quite a lot, speaker after speaker, condemning abductions. And then the issue of BAMBA. Both as an individual and based on his political posturing in the last few weeks. I remember one of the senators saying, Baba atuambie position yake vizuri, ndio tujue vile tutadili na yeye. So you can tell that even as they are trying to coalesce, the tone really was that this is not a finality, si ati mlango imefungwa, hakuna kuingia. No, we are welcoming all of them, all of you. In any case, the enemy of your enemy is my friend. By enemy, I mean like the people you are competing with politically. But Fred, because you are directing us to train ourselves towards youth leadership, if you could give me a minute, from the religion that I subscribe from, a story is told by Jesus. By the way, Jesus was a youth and he did a lot of work that we read about his works 2,000 years later. There's a parable he gave. It was the parable of the seed and the sower. He says that one day one seed fell on the rocky ground, ikamea polepole ikaharibika. There was another one that I don't know what the seed did, ikaharibika. So it's like the farmer, the seed sower, had many seeds from one basket. Ni kama seeds zote ni mzuri, but the ones that fell on rocky ground, and then there's another one that fell on the fertile ground. The issue of the Kenyan political scenario, if I could use the seeds, really has never been necessarily the people. It is just the ground that the young people find themselves in. Just like the seed sower, it was the ground in which his seed fell that determined the outcome. The truth of the matter is that most of our Kenyan politics now, political organizing is around regionalism and tribalism. That is the truth. And that is even reflected in how positions are divided. Utapata even uki-apply any government job unaulizangwa county. In the government language, they call it regional balance. So then the question is, what is the most pragmatic thing for me to do? Is it to go against the grain and come with a party that rarely gets even one individual? We know all these things. Or is it politically pragmatic to posture myself in the direction that my people are going? I think those are the real dilemmas, because in the past, not much has come out of people who have gone against the grain. Fred, if you go to parliament today, only 11%, only 11 MPs walingia kama independent. Only 11.
So you're saying that we should not expect